Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring ocean/industrial age concepts. And today we're going to talk about very commonly used concept, 压力. It can be used in so many different scenarios. It's kind of an overlap of English's. Okay, so just look at this. 压 means press down, and 力 means the force of pressing. So, of course, together it means pressure. And actually, 压力 can also mean stress. And similar to English, I would think pressure in English also kind of mean stress. But it can be both like a scientific term, that's a measurable thing of like air pressure, water pressure, or it's like a psychological term for humans. We feel the pressure, the invisible. I'm not sure like measurable, probably can be measured, but I'm not sure how to quantify stress. But in any case, Chinese use 压力 to apply both situation when we say 我感到压力, like I feel the pressure. So it's more like stress, but we're using the same word. We don't really have a stress per se. We don't have a translation for stress because stress is also 压力. For Chinese, it's just we don't have distinctive expressions in many occasions, and we unify them instead of separate them into different expressions. We kind of see the commonalities and use the same expression like for all kinds of situations. Okay, you can see simplified. It's so much simpler than the traditional Chinese, and the traditional kind of reflected how originally things were. So this, yeah, was the dictionary from 2,000 years ago. I believe somebody 2,000 years ago compiled a dictionary. Probably I was thinking, I like English dictionary. I mean, English is mostly sound, right? You just go by the sound. And of course, definition important. But because Chinese is this pictographs, and so how things are visually represented, critical. So somebody early on had to start compiling this. So I'm not sure when is the earliest of English dictionary, but I feel like Chinese dictionary 2,000 years ago, pretty early, because language as our, I guess, externalized thinking process is a kind of a communication tool, but also mind control tool. Language serves power, right? Like who dominance over there in a society, and they use language most likely to their advantage. So it's important, I guess, back then for the rulers to standardize language, to have the incentive to compile such a dictionary. Okay, so this 压力, you can see it's like what? The top left corner, this thing, the bottom is a soil symbol, and then we have a sweet tasting thing, mouth symbol, something in the mouth. We have a meat symbol, kind of omega sign with two streaks of the meat. And then we have a dog symbol on the right. So 5 symbols make up this one press concept. And there's a little bit of deduction that we have to do. So okay, besides the soil symbol at the very bottom, remove that one. All the other 4 symbols made into, in English, it would be more like detest, like you don't want it. And the reason of you don't want it because you're satiated, you're not hungry anymore. The reason why is because you have dog meat, tastes good. You're already mouthful of dog meat, well fed at that point. And therefore, you probably are not motivated to get any more food. Like don't overeat kind of thing. So this satiation lead to low desirability. So it becomes detest. You don't like something because you're already satisfied. You're not lacking in that department. So don't like something, almost like not lacking something for the Chinese, logic flipping in there. And the top left corner thing, because, okay, Chinese is a box, right? We view it as a rectangle. Within this rectangle, we depict the world. The top left corner, because Chinese always by default facing toward the left. So the top left corner is always where humans were supposed to face the left. And when we have this structure on the top left, top frame and this vertical line, it means high ground or something higher than human. Because the language we use our first person perspective. So everybody who see those pictures can put themselves in the shoes of the observer of the world to see how things are relative to us, like humans, as the yardstick of everything. And we depict the world based on our perspective. So to humans, this top left corner thing is higher than us. And then we have lower ground, of course, at the bottom left corner pointing, that's like below us. So there's a sense of a relative height was expressed in this very simple way. So now we have somebody who had dog meat. I guess that's just for the pet lovers out there. It's a sad reality, I guess. Back then, dog used to be the food. Even today, it's still the food source. It's just a cultural difference. Didn't mean all dog eaters are evil or, all such, not such cultural or moral judgment to my own language, but that's just I guess, an undeniable fact here. We're describing dog meat and mouthful of that tastes good with this high ground, meaning somebody is kind of high, right? I guess high, almost like we internalize the sense of fullness. You have enough dog meat and the sense of hunger quashed by the sense of satisfaction, contentment goes high. And interestingly, we flip that idea of satisfaction to therefore you don't need anything. Food cannot attract you as much. And then therefore it becomes like eventually adopt the negative meaning of your negative towards something because you already have enough of it. It kind of true, right? English, we would say enough is enough, right? This enough means you have put up enough with something, like you have too much of it. Therefore, you're disliking it. You want to have a change. So I guess it captured a similar meaning. And then when I paired with the soil symbol together, that means this highly satisfied, well-fed dog eater, almost like putting pressure on the soil, meaning we can kind of imagine if this is a well-fed person, is going to have good, I guess, body fat and muscle, and therefore a heavier, right? We have to frame that in the ancient times when food security was not a given, was not a guarantee. So if this person high on dog meat, this probably ancient, more accessible food source, right? So, and it's quality meat, it's protein. And then if such a person standing on the soil, it will be heavy on the soil. So that's the pressure. Then force, we are simply one symbol. We see this icon so many, it's iconic, Chinese character. It means a plow, or in today's backyard, management is rake. So it's kind of pointy things. I guess that structure is almost like a universal. Back then till now, it's similar. And Chinese simplify it into only three. That means repetitive, many of such sharp edges like claws, so that we can use this metal claws, or maybe wooden. I'm not sure. Something got to be durable enough to plow through the surface of the soil, ready for farming activity. So that eventually represents muscle force because that's associated with the use of plow. You have to exert muscle force on it. Eventually, it becomes representing force or strength. Again, Chinese was transferable in different contexts, and then you kind of get the meaning from the surrounding characters. So it's not. It can be force. It can be strength. Can be power. It depends on where this li occurs, right? And together, when these two pair together, ya and li, ya means press, and li means force. Press force together simply is the pressure. That makes total sense to me. And there you go. Yali, thank you for your time. See you another day.